Good day to you all. If you clicked on this video, you want to know how to make money with your artwork. Well, my friend, I have good news and I have bad news. Good news is there are a lot of options. Bad news is we do live in kind of a competitive market, so it's still going to take work. But let's dive into it and we can talk some more. Also, this is not sponsored by any of these companies or anything. I'll try to stay relatively company free because I imagine that varies greatly depending on where you live in the world and what kind of art you have. So I'll stay pretty generic with these tips just because it then is more applicable to a wide audience. But the first way to sell your art is going to be direct to consumer. So that is, through Instagram, through a website, and through Etsy or platforms similar. You are producing your artwork, you're posting them, you're doing the little descriptions, the SEOs, all of that. Consumers contact you to sell. Under that same umbrella is through galleries. So if you put your artwork in a gallery, then you would be splitting the commission to, depending on what gallery you're working with, that split is different. But both of those are relatively direct to consumer. There is a little bit of a third party. If you're using a website, they're taking a little bit of a cut. If you're using Etsy, they're also taking a little bit of a cut, and a gallery definitely takes a bit of a cut. So there's that. Ideally, I think most artists would prefer this because they just want to make art and have it sell. But unfortunately, that's not always the case. And especially depending on the economy, not everyone can afford a full-blown original oil painting. Which leads me to my next alternative, which is to sell prints. And again, you can make your own prints at home, which is kind of, I would say it could be a bit of an extensive buy-in because you would need a scanner, a printer, all the inks, all the papers, but you also get all the profit. I know some people that do it and it works phenomenally for them. Me personally, I don't have time or space to do that, so I outsource my printing. And with prints, they are cheaper alternatives to the original, and therefore you can hit a different market because people that want to collect your art but don't want to pay top dollar for it, they can get a print, and that's great. On a similar note, you can also sell stickers, which I've heard people do really, really well with. I'm going to be completely honest. I have not had the best luck selling stickers. I don't know if my stickers just aren't good and people don't like them, or if the people that like my artwork really aren't that interested in buying stickers. Who knows? But either way, there are a lot of people that make good income on the small scale purchases. They can do quite well. Again, you can make those yourself or you can outsource them. On a similar note to that is merchandise. So you can create your own or go through another third party where you can create t-shirts, mugs, shower curtains, pillows, notebooks, any of those things. There's a lot of options these days for creating merchandise. And depending on what style you have, that can be a really phenomenal supplemental income. Another alternative is licensing. So with licensing, you're essentially working with another company that's going to be putting out a product and they use your artwork on it. So say you work with a soap company and they really like your piece of art and they want it to be one of the cardboard kind of wraps that holds the soap. That's licensing. Same thing with a wine company. If someone likes your artwork and you would get your artwork on the wine bottle label, that's what licensing is. It is a bit, I don't want to say it's complex, but there are caveats to it because you want to make sure you have really good contracts. And it can be a lot of work in the sense where if you send your work out, there's usually a lot of feedback. So if you're going to look into licensing as an artist, you have to be pretty open to changing your original ideas. That's not always the case, but more often than not, the company's going to come back with you with the things they like and they don't like, and they're going to expect you to change it in order to meet their needs. If that sounds cool to you, then licensing is probably a good option to look into. Another way to make money is through brand deals. And how you do that, if you are on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, depending on kind of your following and your interaction and what your audience is, brands can reach out to you, or you can reach out to brands and offer some sort of paid deal in order to represent their company and to promote something of theirs. That's a really good alternative. Again, that does kind of rely on your social media following and your ability to make captivating content. If you feel like that's something in your skill set, brand deals are a really awesome way to go. On a similar note, then you have affiliates. Affiliate marketing is when you work with a company and there's no direct exchange up front necessarily. What it is it's kind of a working relationship between you and a company, and that you are like, I like your products and I talk about your products a lot, and people seem to really like my input on these things, and you feel as though you can influence other people. And so you work with these companies and you're like, for no extra money up front, I will promote your company and your brand in order to bring people to your website to spend money and buy the things that I am promoting. And in return, I get commissions off of the sale. That's what affiliate marketing is. It's commissions off of whatever you're promoting and selling with this company. But they're not paying you upfront to speak highly of them or talk about something. You only make money when someone goes through that link and completes that purchase. Another thing you can do through your own website and other kind of platforms is digital sales, which could include tutorials or instructional pamphlets, anything like that. If you have a guide to something, if you like educating people, creating these ebooks or video tutorials and selling them would probably be a good option for you. And lastly is something that I haven't necessarily done myself, but I'm looking into it, and that is trade shows. I've heard good things about trade shows, but you and I may have to play it by ear and see what we actually think about them. But I'll tell you, with trade shows, it's cool because you get to meet a lot of people, and a lot of new people potentially get to see your work, which is great because then you're just opening up the circle around you. The issue that I'm having with it is the buy-in is a little extreme. And the only reason I say that is because, one, like if I go to a trade show, I want to have a good looking booth, right? I want to have a booth that like really represents my business and my brand, and that's going to cost money. On top of the fact that you need to have materials to sell there. So that's where you would need like your stickers, your prints, your merchandise, or a bunch of originals. But I do think if you are at the right trade show, the return can be astronomical. There's people that make so much money off of those. So something to look into. Again, if you can find a cheap way to kind of start and get into it, then I would look into that. And with all of these options, I just want to put it out there that it's worth doing your own research before you dive in 100%. Look at different options, look at how much money it's going to cost, look at how to price things. The biggest thing is probably to look at competitors to see how they market it and how successful people are marketing it. Do your own research before you dive in completely to any one of these things so that you know, you're doing a good job. You're not spending unnecessary money. Okay, so with that, I hope you found this informative and maybe gave you some ideas or some things to look into as far as how to make money as an artist. Let me know if I missed anything, if there's something that you think is an absolute go-to for an artist to make money. Either way, I hope you gained something from this video. Thank you for joining me, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.